everybody, welcome to today's Toddler Carter video, and in today's video, we're ranking all the weapons and abilities, or hacks as you want to call them, in Scape. So first we're going to start off with the weapons, and we're going to get straight into it. So, the worst weapon in the game, in my opinion, is the Komodo. And why I hate the Komodo so much is because it's really bad up close, and that's what this weapon is used for, up close fights. If I get right here in this dude, it only does 7. But once I back up like it's a skybreaker, it'll hit for 29. It used to be a really good weapon, and if I fully max it out, we got a max size of 9, and it does 30 damage. But I want to use this as an AR, I'll just use a Riot 1 instead, or a Ripper. And I only use this weapon up close. And I'm not even doing the max damage from this range. It's a really bad weapon. I'm sorry, Komodo. Used to be my favorite weapon, but now you're just the worst. Okay, moving on to the next weapon, which is the new weapon. You're probably like, well, it's only the second day of the season. I have gotten my fair share of this weapon. I used it a ton yesterday, and I can just tell you, I hate it. They're probably like, well, use it as a sniper. When it does this, and I want to use it as a sniper, I might as well just use the protocol. It's a really bad weapon. The damage isn't good enough, in my opinion. And I think the fire rate is just fine for it being a semi-auto, but it's just the damage is what's holding it back. Okay, off to the next weapon, which is the salvo grenade launcher. The same reason that the Komodo is, it doesn't have the up close thing, but the grenades can bounce randomly. Now you're probably like, well, look, it's doing some good damage. Well, it's not good. It's only good in a house, and even in there it's still not good because people can just escape now since you don't bounce with grenades anymore. They nerfed the grenade launchers in Scape to the ground, and I'm kind of okay with that because these take literally no skill. Okay, the next weapon, which is the D-Tap. I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's just your ordinary pistol. And yeah, it can like laser you sometimes. But most of the time, it cannot hold enough to get a full kill. And sometimes if another person comes, it will untarget off that dude just like how it did when I was shooting at this bot. I had to reload it so many times. And it depends on the box, and it's really bad far away. And only 6 damage is not good enough. So yeah, we'll just put the D-Tap there. Next, we're going over to the Heartbeat. It got a nerf in the latest patch, just for the fire rate. So it takes a little bit more bullets. Well, it takes a little bit more time to kill somebody. And I would just say, this weapon isn't as good as it used to be. It can still shred kids. Most of these weapons from this point on are like, yeah, you can use it. Like, it's like really viable, but it's not as good as like what's in the meta right now. And by what's in the meta, I mean what's OP. At the 2 and 1 spot, it's gonna show what's really OP and what needs to be nerfed. So yeah. So next, we're going to go to the protocol, which is the only sniper in the game. I don't count that as a sniper because it's an automatic rifle. So, the protocol could do 50 to the body shot. and 75 to the head. Well, that's not fully upgraded. If I fully upgrade this, it one taps to the head. Bam, one tap. But the thing is that it's only good far away. Which means either you can do a mid-range slot or just a close range slot. And sometimes you need more than just one weapon for close range, because it's going to take probably more than one weapon. That's why most people with the sniper just sit back, or most people don't carry it unless they get a max one. Okay, next weapon is the Ripper. This weapon is really good, but it's still not as good as the other weapons on this list. But it's still a really good weapon, and I still run it. Cause look at this. This is the max version. It's like beaming kids. It can beam kids if you know how to aim with it. Now up close, it isn't the best weapon. I would use the Harpy instead. But sometimes if you don't have a Harpy, you just gotta get the job done up close with this weapon. But it takes a little bit, because it only does 14 damage. So you're kind of just hoping that the bullets connect. Next we have one of my favorite weapons, the Skybreaker. Now, if we're talking about the Skybreaker with a movement ability, it's going to stay in its spot. Because you need to go far away for it to do its max damage. And it can hit for 64, which brings them down to half health. And this in squads is just a beam. Because let's say a whole squad's camping on a roof with snipers, you could just straight up use a movement ability, get on top of a roof, bah! And they're all hit for 64. Or use a little yellow boost pad, and then bam! Hit 'em. Next we have my favorite weapon in the game, which is the Riot 1 pistol. And this is coming in at number 3. And why I have the Riot 1 pistol at number 3 is because this thing can just melt kids' health. If you know how to aim well and just know when to shoot and when to use it, kids are going to be dying quickly. This thing is just really good, and I recommend it for that Ripper place. Instead of using the Ripper, I recommend getting good with this weapon and using it. Now, yes, I still haven't mastered it. I can't go full auto with it, or else the recoil just gets out of hand, like watch. Yeah, I tried to keep it still, but I found like doing this, it's a little bit difficult. Now, at the 2 and 1 slot, we have the weapons that I think need to get nerfed. At the second spot, we have the Hexfire. This weapon needs another nerf. They nerfed it a long time ago back in the tech test before it was on console. And then they buffed it, and then they nerfed it again. But now, it can just beam kids. It's kind of depressing to see this at that spot right now. And I want it to get nerfed again. Now, it did get nerfed in this patch, but the nerf wasn't big enough. We need another nerf for this weapon. Next, we have the most OP weapon in the game right now that I think needs a little bit of a nerf, because I just keep seeing everyone die to it, even me, and I get so frustrated when I die to it. Other than that, I think it's fine, and that weapon is the Mammoth. This thing can one-tap headshot. I don't think it should be able to do that. It's not a frickin' sniper. And I can literally 2-tap kids with the max one just by zooming by them like this. I should not be able to do that. It doesn't even it gives them a chance to react whenever you hit them for the first time. But they're gonna react by fighting back. Now sometimes you'll hit like that 20 or like that 5, but most of the times you'll just be hitting 80. So yeah. That is the best weapon in the game right now, and it's really OP, and I think it needs a nerf. Now we're going to go over to the abilities, and at the worst spot, at number 11, we got Reveal. This thing is just really bad it's not gonna be a really helpful ability. I don't think even ever. I don't find myself ever using this, going inside and being like, oh, let me just reveal them. If I see where they are, I can just do that. Most people only use it if somebody goes invisible. And I think that's the only thing it's good for. At 10, we got Wall. Now don't get me wrong, Wall is still a really good ability to get out of situations. You could just flick your arm behind you, do that, and then just get out of the situation, block them off. But it still isn't the best compared to all these other ones. Next one, we're gonna do Ball. Where is Ball? Ball is at the number 9 slot. And the most reason that I think it should be at this number 9 slot is because it's just, people literally just, if they see this ball, they just shoot you. Like, they just shoot the ball, and you're just out of your ball in seconds. And it's really not as good as other movement abilities, because you don't get to control how high the ball goes, only if you jump. That's how high you know when the ball will go. And it's really hard to get up buildings with this, because it just bounces everywhere. So, next is Mine. Now, the reason that it's here is because it's had so many big nerfs, where now it only deals 45. It used to deal 50, but 45 at max. It used to deal 75 at max, now it deals 45. Pretty sure it deals 30 at base. And you don't get to predict. Most people just shoot it the time that you see it spawn in, because they have that long to shoot it. It's just not a really good ability anymore. And Vulnerability. Where is that? Oh, oopsies, didn't need heal. There we go. And Vulnerability. This thing used to be really good with the crown, and it still is really good with the crown. But the duration is just so low. And the cooldown is kind of long. So it's basically you barely even have armor. I mean, invulnerables. Sorry if I call it armor, that's what it used to be called. So yeah, we're gonna drop it. And now we're going to get in the 6th, which is kind of like the, yes, you can use this, it is still viable, which is the Shockwave. I recommend still using this, but it's not as good compared to all the other ones. And the thing why I think it's not good is because it doesn't really have like a visual indicator when you hold the button. And it does do 30 damage and launches them into the air, but it's not a good movement ability for you. I wouldn't recommend it as a movement ability. Let me just place it right here. Next we got Invisibility. Where are you? Oh, there you are. This is a really good thing to get out of a situation with, and most people are using it, and I think that's good. Now they did nerf it, but I still think that it's a really good, but they don't need to nerf it even more. The duration is still short, and you can just counter it no matter what you do. It's fine where it is, and yeah, that comes in at the 5th spot. Next we got the new ability, which is the Magnet. I love this new ability. It's so good. So what it does is it pulls you towards them. Bam. I mean, it pulls them towards you, I should say. And it's really good for Skybreaker or Mammoth shots and stuff like that. And it's really good for people who are invisible. Just throw that down real quick. Bam. Half of their duration gone on their invisibility and they can't get far. Next we got still one of the most OP hacks, Heal. Nobody used to use this, now everybody will. Now everybody does. Because it heals you. Most people just plop it down mid-fight, and even if you damage them, miss a little bit of your shots, they're back at full health and you're literally not even close to full health. I recommend picking this hack up because right now it's in the meta, but I think they need to nerf the heal. Okay, next we have the last two ones. At number 2 we got Teleport. What I like about Teleport is that it can move you forward for forward momentum, and up for up momentum, which, let me get another one. Bam, up. And I think it's just a really good movement ability, but it's not as good as Slam, which comes in at our #1 spot. Most people are saying that this is still the best hack. I don't use it that much because I don't like going that high in the air. But I know how good it is. And it does 30 damage. You get to aim it and move it the way you want. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. And peace out. Hope you have a good day. I'll be streaming later today after this video goes live. So right when this video goes live, check my YouTube channel. I'll be streaming. Peace out.